Alrighty guys, so welcome back to some company of Hereos 2. Another game, replay actually, of me playing Warmark, as you can see I'm right here, with my Upper Commander West ally, and on the other side we have two Russians. Um, this is a pretty crazy game. There was some great. We started off a bit rough, but ended up pulling through at the end, and yeah, that was pretty good. Uh, I blame all my bad macro on being tired. This game was. I played this game at like 3 a.m. because I'm an idiot and don't care about MMR. So, yeah. Just gonna move out, playing with the mechanized assault doctrine again. So I'm just gonna, of course, start off with my machine gun and assault grinder. I really like this opening. It gives you the good aggression and the assault grenadiers and the suppression value and defense value of the MG, so when you have to fall back, you can. And another way of building this, which I guess I could try sometime, is instead of getting the MG, you just immediately get grenadiers, so you end up with 4 grenadiers at the same time instead of just having an MG. Well, that might work. I don't know. So I immediately see the Russians over here. I do not have long range weapons. They have longer range weapons than me, so I figured that it probably wouldn't be a good idea to engage them. However, with this almost being captured, I have the I have the ability to chase them, so I'm able to follow them up. He did get into the building, which forces off my engineers. They did take a model, which sucks. But yeah, such is life. And so down now on my ally side, he's been doing pretty good. He almost wipes that squad right there. It's pretty good. My ally was really good in this game. I just want to capture this point because I highly value fuel. Especially when you're going for like a tiger late game. Getting that tiger out, like the second that you unlock it is really powerful. Um, because otherwise, you're probably never gonna get out the tiger. And considering that teching up really isn't, this build isn't really big on teching up. You only tech up once in order to get tier 2 with anti-tank guns and the scout car. Yeah, I think that you'd be pretty screwed when it comes to just vehicle power if you don't get the tiger. So there's going to be a battle in the middle here. I did see the rocket warfare over here, and I thought, oh, why does he have that so early? Then I saw the penal battalion, thought it must have been the classic scout car rush. Although I don't believe he has a scout car. He certainly does not have a scout car, so I actually don't know why he got the rocket warfare. I guess just to be super prepared for the late game, which makes not much sense. Or maybe he just assumed that since he had the penal battalions that he'd be going down for the scout car. Anyway, back here. These guys come into the range of the MG. Not a good place to be, especially when I have those guys who aren't coming in, because he did end up backcapping. But I do have assault grants right there, and he does not want to be around suppressed when these guys come after him. While my ally is having quite good success, he has both, he's basically his entire area, all the important points down here capped. I don't have as much luck. As you can see, I do not have my victory point or this fuel. I even get capped quite aggressively back here. I end up taking off a few models of that conscript squad for not much, so just pretty much a little bit of manpower value for nothing.
Production upgrade accomplished.
There's tier 2 for me, and I'm going to be getting I'm going to be pulling back the engineers. I gave them a mine removal kit because I saw an engineer place mines right here, which, yeah, as you can see right there, these guys are going to run right over it, and yeah, painful. So I called them back in order to build tier 2 so that I can just get my vehicles going and all that. And it is quite nice of my ally to help me out here. Plus now I have the ability to throw grenades, which is really useful. I dislodged these guys here. As you can see, he went from a full squad down to one lone guy. I tried to chase him down a little bit, but it's impossible. He ends up catching me with a machine gun. I go into some heavy cover, which obviously breaks suppression, and he really gets screwed out in the open here. Takes some losses, has to go back. I try to chase a little bit, hop up to the ledge. He gets away, but I do end up seeing this mortar squad, so I end up forcing it off, which is pretty good. I don't remember why I stopped microwaving him. Was there something over here?
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, and then these guys come back in. They force me off because as good as the Silvergrins are, they're not going to be able to take on all that. He already has guards infantry, which spooked me quite a bit. They are very powerful, especially with their upgrades, their DP light machine guns. They become just an absolute menace. And this guy's going to get pinned down, takes quite a few losses, ends up retreating. My ally is getting a bit pushed back here. We are losing the points. Meanwhile, up here, I am still not really able to establish a foothold there. Thankfully, though, we do control this middle portion, which is really strong, because as long as you control this middle portion, you can basically stay here, and never, like, fear being flanked. You just, like, put an anti-tank gun, aim it that way, and you're good. So, controlling that is huge, and it shows. It also allows allies to send help to each other easier. So I do have my scout gun already on. It immediately gets a little bit damaged by the guards infantry with their anti-tank rifles. However, forcing them off, I see no real problem with going in and trying to harass this infantry. End up taking a model, and a couple models, which is pretty good. He goes back into cover. This other guy comes up, so I'm just trying to deal as much damage as possible. Flank around, take out that infantry. I surprisingly don't get many models. He ends up just going to really low health, which is fine because it doesn't mean that heal at base. But these guys also get away. I do have my assault squad here. They come in, they immediately force off this MG. I don't want to be too aggressive with it because I don't want to run into some surprise AT or something and lose it like the guards infantry. They are quite the menace. I don't remember how this got its engine damaged, but it sucks. I completely missed this. I did not see it through fog of war, which, yeah, bad on me. The MG here was holding down this point, so I ended up throwing grenades. He saw it, immediately got out and got back in, and I really couldn't do much about that. But yeah, good on him. And now with my derpy 3 AM mind, I decided it was a good idea to sacrifice these guys to the blood god apparently. And yeah, they're just gonna have to stay in here, take a model, then leave. I think I do that with another special. Meanwhile, these guys, no, they're just gonna get suppressed. These guys take some damage from the guards infantry. They absolutely wreck the light armor, so I had to pull back. I did get my Panzer Grenadiers out because I do not want them to die. And they do end up pushing back and taking a solid amount of models, but they do encounter this heavy machine gun, and I really can't do anything about that, so I just have to leave. And yep, here's Derpy 3am me coming back and do some people for no reason.
Our opponents are
He's gonna come
seizing
back
the
and
sector.
take back this fuel, which this fuel point was always being contested throughout the entire game. Meanwhile, I am stuck back at base with the majority of my guys. I did end up, oh, I did not end up losing. Okay, did I? I don't remember. So yeah, my forces are in disarray. They don't have much. My ally though, he got new tech, so he's just gonna be bringing that up and gonna be going for what's it? I think he goes for tier. Which tier does he go for? Tier 3 or 4? I don't remember.
Ready to execute.
Oh, he goes for tier 4. That would explain why I got tanks so early. So, meanwhile, to cover his somewhat aggressive forward base, he has these guys down here. They are doing quite well. But meanwhile, there's some stuff going on with my side. I just sort of move in, get forced off, and that sucks. My ally comes in here with a Pulse Grenadier squad, which is quite nice of him. He ends up helping me repel these engineers. Now here comes this G70 really screwed me up. The penal battalions come in. He ends up, yeah, coming in with shock troops as well. Now down here, this really isn't a problem because they just get suppressed by the MG. Up here though, this tank, I can't do much about. He is also flanking with these conscripts, so I get spooked by all this, end up getting out and leaving. At this point, I do see the tank and end up going for Panzer Shreks on my Panzer Grenadiers
The enemy is
to
taking
try to
our
counter this.
territory.
I also did get out my anti-tank gun, which was a terrible position. What was I thinking? It's just gonna like hit crap right there. And I'm dumb sometimes. Anyway, just gonna have this SU-76. I think it's just the mortar, which is shooting at the building for no reason. So I end up throwing grenades that forces those guys out, which lets me move in a little bit more. I just really want to keep my foothold here. If I don't keep my foothold here, then I'm pretty screwed. So I try to move in, go as aggressive as possible. He throws grenades, but he throws them on my squad instead of in front of them, so I'm able to just continue moving forward and be able to dodge them, which was optimal for me. So he can't really stop this. His G70 is quite damaged. I end up having to retreat to these guys though because they did get quite low. However, the 4-person squad, that was maybe a bit too early of a withdrawal. You never know. So he ends up suppressing me with a machine gun. I'm forced off by that. I do not want to lose a I don't want to go to just one person on the squad, and certainly don't want to lose it because I don't want to replace any of the Panzer Shreks. He comes in, or my enemy comes in here with a whole bunch of infantry. However, the Obersoldaten are very powerful and are able to push them out. Also, I sent in some pioneers just to try to stop them. This penal squad here almost goes down. Sadly, he gets away with a sliver of health. And yeah, that forces off the rest of the infantry. So we successfully defended this. I just try to move in a little bit more to get maybe a quick model right there. Then G70 is just sort of forcing my guys off this, trying to force my guys off this, which I'm just gonna try to dodge the shots because that works in this game, and it ended up working pretty well. I did lose a lot. I lost 3 soldiers and a lot of health, but I think it's worth it to force my enemy to take the time to go back in here. He's gonna build some more mines, and nothing really comes to that though.
Anti-tank mine set to go.
So I see his T70 here. I think I tried to lure it into the range of this anti-tank gun, which I am getting a second one. This guy, yeah, I think I had them both selected, and I just was like, I just freaked out when one of them got really low health, and I ended up shooting both of them, even though I really only should shoot the one. Uh, Meanwhile, my ally is being quite wonderful, ends up getting tanks. He had a lot of tanks by the end of this game. He was doing great. Meanwhile, I'm just carrying a lot of fuel, like being pretty worthless. However, the fuel is gonna gonna be used up soon, as I do get my stoop, and a lot of it'll be used up later if I get the Panther. So my ally is helping me out up here. He really has the bottom secured, so he's able to just help me out here, which is very, very wonderful of him. This ally is really the MVP. He ends up moving in, has to retreat with the bolster near them. These guys come in. The shock troopers are certainly very deadly. Definitely don't want to be close to them, so everyone just retreats. The enemies managed to get us out of this area here. I got my Stug out, which is great against this incoming infantry horde. As you can see, instantly takes out a lot of models and brings that penal battalion down to very low number. However, my Stug is being quite derpy. I don't know what it is soon. This SC-76 is quite annoying. It's able to just continually attack us. However, my ally, the MVP, coming in with this medium tank here, which absolutely annihilates T7. I end up only taking out one model of this shock troop, but heal tons of damage. So he's definitely gonna have to go back to base and heal. And I just unleashed a pointless barrage of crap here. I don't know why. Again, this is 3 AM, I just don't. I don't know how I got my engine destroyed. Was it because I went over the mines? No. Okay, well, I got my engine destroyed somehow, which sucked. And that'll come into play later, as you'll see. So I think the mine just went off. They didn't do much, but yeah, he's trying to destroy this building in my ally, and it's quite nice of him. But he ends up taking a lot of damage from the SC-76, and penal squads come in with their anti-tank guns, heal quite a bit. I tried to move in just to help him out a little bit with the Stug, but I only end up making it worse as he has to try to maneuver out of this. Now, I was going to repair him, but I figured I really want to get this thing mobile again, so I just repaired until my engine disability went away, and then I went to help repair my allies' tanks. So yeah, you'll see in a moment there, swapped over to the other tank, because I'm still at quite high health. I do need to move out with this anti-tank gun here, which I managed to do just in time to dodge that bomb. And I do knock out half of that squad, which is quite useful. Sadly missed with the next shot, and the enemy comes in here, does quite good damage. The SC-76 is probably going to take out my SD KFC. Yes, no. Oh, yeah. So they just send in a mass firestorm here, which, yeah, that takes out the light vehicle. And thankfully the engineers are out of range, but it did force me to retreat everything else. I didn't have to retreat this that far though. It was close enough so that I could just tuck it in here. And the tank keeps on going, which is pretty good. So I just end up moving these guys in. These guys are already low health, so they're forced to retreat. They did this. How did this squad stay with 3 people? I don't know. Like, it's super low health. Uh, I flung down some artillery here, just wanted to try to take out as many models as I could, and as you can see there, it's quite effective. I end up taking out this squad, I believe. No, almost. But I do deal quite a solid amount of damage to that T-70, bringing it down to about half health, which is able to just allow it to be sniped if this guy wants to. Yeah, nope. Okay. I did end up getting a second Panzer Grenadier squad because I figured that I needed both more anti-tank and anti-infantry, and I had a whole bunch of resources and nothing to use it on. So I just grabbed some Panzer Grenadiers. Now I decided that I would start saving for the Tiger so that I could have enough manpower just to get it instantly. And this squad right here is getting absolutely annihilated by the Stug. The Stug is very good against infantry. Sadly, it's like really bad against everything else, but against infantry that are stationary, it just absolutely annihilates them. I don't know why I threw those grenades, but I did. So, the SU-76 is gonna immediately take out a dude on the squad. Not really doing a huge amount of damage, but is being annoying and taking out a couple of models. And bunching them them together isn't a good idea against that. It deals very damage. But so I do end up splitting them up a little bit. I do want to take this point a lot, so dodge that bump. These guys take quite a bit of damage and are forced to fall out. I do end up retreating one, so there. Now this guy, I can just easily dodge and not worry about taking a huge amount of damage. I do come in with the Stuke, trying to deal just a tad bit of damage, I believe. No, okay. I'm just parking it there for the future, I guess. I end up moving in, trying to do something. I don't remember what's going through my mind at this point. But I end up moving in, and just trying to take out a couple models, which doesn't really work, as you can see. Although I did end up being able to call down artillery, and he really does nothing about it. So, yeah, it completely misses that one. Yeah, that was like worthless artillery. Anyway, back here. They are just forcing me to walk a little bit back with Panzer Grenadiers. Stug is going in valiantly, trying to deal a little bit of damage, and ends up getting a shot in the engine and goes down. Sad fate. Anyway, I end up going in, take a good shot at the SU-76, and bam, lower in health a little bit. The conscripts are in danger. I barely miss killing this guy, so I try to chase him around with my Panzer Grenadiers. Apparently brings in a tank here just to try to finish off the squad. I don't think it gets finished off with the bringing in of the next conscript squad. So this guy decided to just hang out there instead of apparently retreat back. Maybe it's because of the tank over there. But I'm able to just come back around and snipe it, and then run away, which is always good. So I'm just gonna fling some raids at this guy, deal tons of damage, take out half the squad for just a few ammunitions, which actually I'm quite low on ammunitions, but whatever. I do get out my Tiger. This thing is an absolute beast. It's quite powerful. So, gonna bring that in. It's just a menace. I do believe that this guy right here ends up leaving, like, right now, which really sucks. Like, don't be a scum like that. And after that, this battle was pretty easily won by us with the Tiger. We were able to just run around and kill the enemy really easily. As you can see, my ally here got some nice tanks. Dealing quite a good amount of damage to this MG squad here. End up taking out a couple models. Does end up getting away though, I believe. We had the triple camp, and the enemy really isn't able to break us at this point. They do have a couple tanks down here. And there's a random T-70 down here. The ally is able to hold fast. You can see these guys ends up taking out the squad here. These engineers pretty much have a death wish if they just stand there, so it doesn't infiltrate them. He does have rocket morpher and a tank back here, so if the enemy tries to advance, Soviets try to advance and take out all this, they will be in for a nasty surprise. I sealed the tanks and come back down with my Tiger and a squad of Panzer Gunners. They don't do much though. They just sort of block it and don't do much because yeah, the enemy brings in stuff here. I saw the vehicle icon on the minimap and I was like, oh crap, is there another tank? I don't know why he got this, but he got this. And it immediately gets annihilated. Like, what is this guy thinking? What did you expect, mate? So I just throw down so much over here, just trying to do as much damage as possible. The half track obviously goes down. I am forced to retreat here though. I was taking quite a bit more damage than I wanted to. The machine gun was destroyed though, which is very nice for me. There's my Tiger again. That ends up coming in just to help out. My pulse trainer isn't gonna come in. I'm going to steal the heavy machine gun for not much of a reason. Just felt like it. Also, I am floating quite a bunch of resources. Sadly, you cannot get 2 Tigers in one game. I did end up getting enough resources to get a Tiger at some point. T-70 is just going to deal some poke damage and move back. And this guy apparently ended up losing the second T-36. Sorry, I missed that. But, yeah, the Soviets are in a death spiral now. They had a pretty good game early on. Ended up not being able to capitalize. Just got pushed back. It's like reverse Stalingrad, I guess. The Germans were on the defensive and held out for long enough and were able to just come back and kick the Americans. Or not the Americans, the Russians. God, I'm dumb. But yeah, nothing really happens from here on out. He's just like hanging about. This Baphomet guy, he was replaced by an AI. It does basically nothing. They completely stopped attacking my side. They just went after the ally side, which doesn't make much sense, but whatever. Like, this guy's even more entrenched than me. Like, look at this, he has stuff everywhere. Like, I guess I'm fairly entrenched as well, but not that entrenched. Like, you can just mosey up in here and not have much of a problem. Although I can't just easily walk over and come in. But, I mean, the Tiger's all the way down there. I probably should move it up there. The mortar is back, though, and is annoying. Oh yeah, there's an Su-85, which does as little as you'd expect in this situation. I see it out of the corner of my eye. Move in with the Panzer Grenadiers and the Tiger. At some point, I think it moves up a little bit. And my ally comes in with troops for not much of a reason other than, I don't know, moral support. Ends up seeing that, moves back a little bit. I see it come in, deal tons of damage with my anti-tank. Panther Strike 2, coming with the Tiger. I see him go around, expecting him to come through, and he does. I see the tank, move in with my tiger, and yeah, the game's over. But thanks for watching. This was quite the fun game, and see you guys next time.